am the founder of the cadetship training initiatives, which have been founded mainly because I've seen that there is a gap in terms of mentoring cadets, and therefore they are most of the time prone to different types of abuses, which I'd like to stipulate. We had to talk about truth, right? Sexual abuse,
Yes.
Women are prone to those at sea. Being the gender inequality in terms of pay, it's also a very big thing, as well as the fact that they can be prone to emotional and mental abuse. Now, the initiatives that I have founded, they are there to bridge the gap and be able to mentor women and our male counterparts in order for them to be able to be physically as well as emotionally ready to counter any other challenges that they may face at sea. The first physical enablement that I like to talk about, which actually came about very recently when I recently heard about an incident that transpired at sea, is still under wraps because it's a very sensitive matter. It came to me that if women could be given the ability to defend themselves physically, they would be in a better position to protect themselves. Therefore, I believe and I request that if it's possible, that as part of the courses that a cadet or any seafarer would take part in before they join a vessel, that actually implement self-defense. This is something that is just so, it's dear to me because directly and indirectly I've been subject or been exposed to these type of abuses that I'm talking about. Now, as we were speaking and Mr. Dole was actually opening up, we also touched on psychology. As we all know that sometimes when you go out at sea and you get to encounter some challenges, I believe that we need to have psychologists which are here to counsel those that have been through hard times that have altered their whole lives from the challenges that they faced. I believe that if we can have people that would be held accountable to actually be able to counsel even young men and young women when they come back at sea and they give their report of how it's been at sea, I believe that the turnaround or the number of dropouts would actually decrease. Because the dropouts, it's not because these students most of the time don't want to do maritime, but it's because there is not much support, both in the classroom as well as out at sea. When I say in the classroom, maritime is a study that is not currently done in high schools, and therefore it needs to be backed up with a very strong foundation. What do I mean by that? We are 21st century people. Most of the time we are on the website, we are on our phones with apps. Therefore, if we would have a website that is mainly designed for maritime, whereby there are study tips there are past papers that are accessible for students, I think it would be better for them to be equipped and be able to also have deeper knowledge with maritime, and therefore increase their pass rates as well. The other initiative that I also would bring to light is the fact that during these school holidays, June and December, I probably think that we would give better options for women as well to be exposed to the shore side of the maritime industry career. Yolisa, the pilot, she mentioned the different job opportunities that there are, but currently these are not known to the broader maritime industry by most students that are in the entry level. Therefore, if they can be taken to the different SAMSA offices, the different Transnet ports within South Africa, we have 8 in South Africa, so that they can be able to know the different types of opportunities that are readily there for them to be able to do maritime. Now, this will not only be able to broaden their perspective with regards to maritime, but it will also be able to allow them to have networks, which is what we need in this industry. We need a very strong network of women that will be able to support one another ashore as well as when they go out at sea. Because as mentioned earlier, sea life can be very lonely. When you're out there, you've just been deployed into being alone. And sometimes crewing agents, I don't mean to speak bad about them, there's not much mediation or much interaction that we have with crewing agents as the SAMSA, or rather maritime entities such as SAMSA, TNPA, SAIMI, which is under SAMSA. There's not much interaction there to be able to actually sit down, be able to look at the challenges and sort of bridge a gap of giving solutions for those. What I've advised today, as I'm standing before you, is just a portion of the initiatives that I'm currently running with the help of Budlinda and Kula from the Royal Cape Yard Club and the support of Mr. Nduli. And we'd like to see change, we'd like to see things being implemented, because the cadetship training program is part of the National Development Plan. Now, if that does not work, that means we're working against ourselves as a nation. And therefore, I request that these may be looked into. My name is Faye. Thank you for your time.